Welcome, spicy ladies. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to quietly dislike you without ever saying why? It is not always obvious, and sometimes it feels like they're just waiting for a reason to push you down. But the truth is, it often has nothing to do with you personally. It has more to do with what you represent, the kind of strength and independence that makes others uncomfortable. As a Sigma female, you carry a presence that is different from the usual. You live your life according to your own rules, making choices that make sense to you, even if they confuse or unsettle others. This can cause people to feel threatened because your way of being shines a light on their own fears and limitations. When someone refuses to play by the unspoken rules of approval and conformity, it challenges the way they have learned to survive. The quiet dislike you sense is often a reaction to your refusal to be controlled or used. You do not give people the emotional reactions they expect. You see beneath the surface and refuse to pretend. This can make some people feel powerless or exposed. And instead of trying to understand, they pull away or act cold. But here's the important part. None of this hate or discomfort should make you question your worth. Your strength and freedom are your greatest gifts. Keep standing firm. Keep moving forward. And remember that being true to yourself is more important than fitting into anyone else's idea of who you should be. The resistance you face is proof that you are doing something right. So, spicy ladies, let's dive into 12 reasons why they hate themselves thinking they hate you. Number 1, you notice what they hope no one sees. Some people think they are great at hiding who they really are. They keep a smile plastered on their face while their thoughts tell a completely different story. They give compliments that sound sweet, but carry a sting underneath. They talk about their lives as if everything is perfect, yet their eyes flicker with something darker. Most people miss these things, but you don't. You notice what they hope no one sees. Not because you're trying to dig into their business, but because your mind naturally picks up details others overlook. The slight pause before someone answers a question. The way their voice gets a little tighter when a certain topic comes up. The way they avoid eye contact for a split second when they are not telling the whole truth. These tiny cracks might as well be flashing lights to you. Imagine someone telling you they are completely fine, but their hands are clenched and their breathing is shallow. You do not call them out, but you clock it. Or someone says they are happy for you, but there is a faint smirk at the corner of their mouth that does not match their words. You catch these moments without even thinking about it. The problem is not everyone wants to be seen like that. For some, your ability to read them feels like you are peeling away their mask without touching them. It can make them uncomfortable, even defensive, because it forces them to face the truth they are trying to hide. This is why some people dislike you without a clear reason. It is not what you say. It is the fact that you can see past the version of themselves they are selling to the world. And deep down, they know you could see right through their performance if you wanted to. Your silence about it only makes it more unsettling. They are left wondering how much you have already noticed. And that quiet uncertainty is enough to make them uneasy every time they are around you. Right now, if you are still watching, I hope this video can help you. Your comments motivate me so much, so I can make more videos which you like. So hit that subscribe button and leave me a message. Let's continue. Number 2. You keep evolving without their permission. Most people like to keep others in neat mental folders. Once they think they have you figured out, they feel safe. They label you in their mind and believe you will stay exactly how they remember you. It gives them a sense of control because they know what to expect from you. But you do not give them that comfort. You keep evolving quietly, shifting and growing in ways they never see coming. You might be the person they once thought would always stay in a certain career. But one day you decide to start your own business or move into a completely different field. You might have been quiet in the past, yet one day you speak with a confidence that makes them wonder when that change happened. You might have once tolerated behavior from someone, but now you walk away without hesitation. These changes are not for show. They are the result of the way you keep learning, reflecting, and adjusting your life without waiting for someone else to say it is okay. For example, think about an old friend who still talks to you like you're the same person you were years ago. They make jokes that no longer fit who you are, or they bring up habits you left behind. When they realize you have moved far beyond that version of yourself, it can make them uncomfortable. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your growth means their old idea of you is now outdated. This is why some people quietly resent you. They cannot control the pace of your evolution. They cannot predict your next move. And for people who feel secure when others stay the same, your ability to change without notice feels threatening. It reminds them that growth is possible, but it also exposes the fact that they have not moved in years. You are living proof that people can rewrite their own story, and the truth unsettles anyone who prefers their story to stay exactly the same. Number 3, you have no appetite for fake unity. Most people are taught from a young age to smile through discomfort, to not agree in conversations they do not believe in, to sit at tables with people they do not respect, all under the banner of keeping the peace. But you have no appetite for that kind of performance. If you do not respect someone, you do not pretend otherwise. You will be polite, but you will not fake closeness just to make the atmosphere look friendly. In everyday life, this can be as simple as refusing to join a group chat where the main activity is gossip. It can look like keeping your distance from a coworker who undermines others, even when everyone else laughs at their fake charm. Or it might be choosing not to show up to a family gathering where people expect you to smile through behavior you would never tolerate from a stranger. Your refusal to play along unsettles people because it challenges the unspoken rule that everyone must pretend to get along. For them, peace often means silence about the truth. For you, peace means not forcing yourself to share space with people whose values you cannot stand behind. Some will see this as coldness because they mistake fake friendliness for kindness. They expect you to blend in for the sake of appearances, but you choose self-respect over false harmony. The irony is that your honesty often creates more genuine relationships because the people you do let close know it is real. The truth is fake unity is not unity at all. It is just a quiet agreement to hide what everyone already knows. And you would rather face the discomfort of being called distant than live with the exhaustion of constant pretending. That choice makes you rare, and it makes some people quietly despise you. Number 4, you don't give them the emotional reactions they want. Some people survive on the reactions they can pull out of others. They know exactly what to say to make someone angry, jealous, embarrassed, or defensive. It gives them a sense of power when they can get under someone's skin. Most people take the bait without realizing it. But you are different. You do not just ignore the bait. You act as if it was never placed in front of you in the first place. Picture a coworker who drops a sly comment about how you must have gotten lucky to achieve something. They're hoping you will defend yourself, so they can turn it into a bigger conversation and make you look overly sensitive. Instead, you smile lightly, keep your focus on your work, and give them nothing to grab onto. In their mind, they just lost a game they thought they would win. Or imagine someone who tries to provoke you during an argument, raising their voice or bringing up a sore subject just to get a rise out of you. Rather than matching their energy, you keep your tone calm, refuse to chase the drama, and steer the conversation back to facts. You are not withholding emotion to be cruel. You simply refuse to give them the satisfaction of controlling your state of mind. This is what frustrates them most. Confrontation at least gives them attention. Silence, calmness, and indifference take away the stage they were performing on. They cannot claim victory because there was never even a fight. And in their frustration, they realize something they may never admit out loud. You cannot be moved unless you decide to move. That kind of self-control is power most people will never touch, and it makes them quietly resent you. Number 5, you can't be used and they've tried. Some people do not actually want you. They want what they can get from you. It could be your time, your skills, your kindness, your resources, or even just your presence because it benefits their image. They come with smiles and nice words, but underneath it all is a quiet calculation about what you can give them. For most people, this works. They know how to flatter, how to guilt trip, or how to wrap a request in a way that feels harmless. But with you, that plan hits a wall. You have learned to notice the tiny signs that reveal someone's true intention. Maybe a person only calls when they need a favor, but disappears the moment you might need them. Or a colleague always wants to collaborate, but somehow the work ends up on your desk while they take the credit. You do not need to wait for the full story to unfold before you act. The moment you sense that the exchange is one-sided, you start pulling back. This is not about being suspicious of everyone. It is about knowing the difference between genuine connection and strategic convenience. You have experienced enough to recognize patterns. You remember how it felt the last time you gave, and gave until you were drained, and you promised yourself never again. What frustrates people who try to use you is that you do not give them a dramatic rejection they can twist against you. You simply make yourself unavailable. You stop responding to the requests that drain you. You keep your energy and resources for people who value you rather than just what they can get from you. And that is where the resentment comes in. When someone cannot exploit you, it forces them to confront the fact that their charm or manipulation is not as effective as they thought. In their eyes, you are difficult. In reality, you're simply untouchable to anyone who comes with hidden strings attached. Number 6, you're not available for emotional dumping. Some people do not want to solve their problems. They want an audience for them. They come to you with the same story over and over. Not because they are looking for a real solution, but because the act of unloading onto someone else makes them feel lighter for a moment. They are not sharing to connect. They are sharing to dump the weight onto you. You are not available for that. It is not that you do not care, but you have learned the difference between supporting someone and being their emotional landfill. When a person comes to you expecting endless sympathy or constant reassurance, you do not automatically give it. Instead, you ask questions that make them think. You offer a solution rather than a soft place to keep complaining. Sometimes you offer nothing at all because you know they are not actually interested in change. Picture a friend who always calls to talk about their terrible relationship. They list the same issues every week, yet they never take action to leave or improve it. The first few times you listen, but by the 10th time you start pointing out patterns or asking what they're going to do differently. This shift instantly changes their tone because it is no longer the comfort session they came for. To them, your logic feels cold. Your boundaries feel like rejection. What they do not see is that your refusal to be their dumping ground protects your own mental space. You understand that carrying the emotional baggage of people who refuse to unpack it themselves will slowly drain you. The truth is you are not responsible for fixing someone who is committed to staying in the same cycle. And while this makes some people label you as uncaring, it is actually a form of self-respect. You know the difference between helping someone and enabling them, and you choose to protect your peace over keeping their comfort intact. Number 7, you don't flinch when they withdraw approval. Some people believe their approval is a form of currency. They give it when they want to keep you close and take it away when they want to control you. They assume that if they suddenly go quiet, ignore you, or act distant, you will rush to close the gap. They are used to people scrambling for their attention because they know how to make others feel the sting of being shut out. But when they try it with you, it does not work. You do not beg for explanations. You do not chase after the conversation. You do not start overcompensating to win them back. You simply carry on with your life as if nothing has shifted. That quiet refusal to react unsettles them more than any argument could. Imagine a friend who stops responding to your messages after you disagree with them. They expect you to send follow-up texts to apologize for having your own opinion, to work your way back into their good graces. Instead, you let the silence stand. You go about your day, take care of your plans, and allow them to decide if they actually want to reconnect. This kind of indifference infuriates people who are used to controlling relationships through approval and withdrawal. They interpret your calm as arrogance because it reminds them that they do not hold power over you. The truth is you are not being arrogant. You are simply not interested in performing for access to someone's attention. You understand that genuine connection should not be built on emotional games. If someone chooses to withhold their approval, that is their choice. Your life continues either way. And that fact alone is what makes them quietly resent you because they cannot stand the idea that their absence might mean nothing to you at all. Number 8, you've mastered the art of psychological invisibility. Some people survive on access. They feel in control when they can read your emotions, predict your next move, or pull you into their world. They thrive when they can get a reaction, whether it is joy, anger, or guilt. But with you, They keep running into a wall they cannot see. You have mastered the art of psychological invisibility. You know how to step back without announcing it. You can blend into the background when it benefits you, and you can detach so cleanly that people are left wondering if you were ever fully there in the first place. This is not about being fake or hiding who you are. It is about protecting the parts of yourself that not everyone deserves access to. In everyday life, this might look like smiling politely in a group while keeping your true thoughts to yourself, or keeping your personal life completely out of workplace conversations so that no one can use your vulnerabilities against you. It might mean cutting emotional ties with someone long before you physically leave the relationship, so that by the time they realize you are gone, you are already somewhere else mentally. The effect is unnerving for people who want to influence or control you. They cannot figure out how to hook into you because you decide when and where you are reachable. You could be right in front of them and still be completely out of their emotional reach. This leaves them feeling powerless. They cannot provoke you. They cannot guilt you, and they cannot map out your inner world. And for some, that is intolerable. They will call you distant, aloof, or hard to read. But the truth is you have simply learned that not everyone should be granted a front row seat to your mind or emotions. By staying selectively visible, you keep your power exactly where it belongs, with you. Number 9, you challenge power without trying to. Some people depend on hierarchy to feel important. They like knowing who is above, who is below, and where everyone stands in between. They expect respect to flow upward, orders to be followed without question, and admiration to be handed out just because of a title. Most people play along even if they do not agree, because it is easier to keep the peace. But you do not automatically fall in line. It is not rebellion for the sake of rebellion. You're not trying to be difficult. You simply do not measure worth by position or status. You look at actions, character, and integrity, not titles or popularity. So when a boss, leader, or self-proclaimed authority expects obedience just because of their role, you do not give it automatically. You treat them the same way you would treat anyone else. Fairly, but without worship. This can be deeply unsettling for those who rely on status to maintain control. Imagine a workplace where a manager is used to employees nodding at every suggestion, even the bad ones. Then you come along and politely ask questions, offer a better approach, or simply choose not to engage in their ego games. You are not disrespectful, but you are clearly not operating under their unspoken rule of do as I say because I say it. Or think about social circles where certain people are treated like royalty because of money, influence, or connections. You can interact with them without flattery, which makes them wonder why their charm or prestige is not working on you. Your freedom from these invisible rules is what makes certain people nervous. You are living proof that respect can be earned without submission, and influence can exist without hierarchy. And for those who need followers to feel powerful, someone who refuses to be a follower at all is more threatening than open defiance. You are not insubordinate. You're just untouchable by their game. Number 10, you're too calm for their chaos. Some people cannot function without chaos. They live in a cycle of drama, tension, and emotional highs and lows. It is what keeps them feeling alive. When life is peaceful, they find a way to stir something up. An argument, a misunderstanding, a crisis out of nothing because they do not know how to exist without it. They thrive when others get swept into their storms because it validates their own emotions. But when they try to pull you in, it does not work. They raise their voice, drop a provocative comment, or create a problem that does not exist, expecting you to react. Instead, you remain steady. You do not take the bait. You listen, process, and respond with calm, if you respond at all. That calmness is not indifference. It is control. And that control feels like rejection to someone who needs your emotional involvement to fuel their chaos. Imagine a coworker who loves workplace drama. They try to pull you into gossip or complaints about others. When you do not engage, they feel dismissed. Or a partner who starts an argument over something small, hoping you will match their intensity. Instead, you keep your tone even and focus on resolving the real issue, which frustrates them because you are not giving them the emotional explosion they were hoping for. Your calm is not just about staying collected. It is about refusing to let someone else's instability dictate your state of mind. This is where the tension comes from. Your steadiness highlights how out of control they are. While they are spinning in circles, you are standing still. And that contrast can be unbearable for someone who defines connection through shared chaos. They may call you detached, unemotional, or even cold. But in reality, you are protecting your peace. You have learned that being pulled into every storm only leaves you wet and exhausted, and you would rather stay dry and in control. Your calm is not weakness. It is the kind of strength that makes chaos powerless in your presence. Number 11, you don't need a tribe to feel powerful. Some people believe strength comes from numbers. They think having a big group, a loud crowd, or a tight-knit tribe is the only way to feel important and secure. They rely on others to back them up, to validate their choices, and to boost their confidence. This creates a kind of groupthink where everyone agrees just to keep peace and avoid rocking the boat. But you are different. You do not need a crowd to feel powerful. You have built your strength from within. You rely on your own judgment, your own experiences, and your own values. You trust yourself enough to stand alone without feeling less than. Because of this, you do not bend to fit in or shout to be heard. You simply exist on your own terms. This makes people uncomfortable. It threatens the whole idea that power comes from social proof or from climbing a hierarchy where approval is handed out like currency. When someone can stand tall without the backing of a tribe, it exposes the fragility of systems built on collective agreement instead of genuine individuality. Think about a group at work or social events where everyone is expected to follow the same opinions or trends. When you quietly refuse to conform or lean on the group for confidence, you show that belonging is not a requirement for influence or success. That makes those who thrive in those groups uneasy because your independence reminds them that their power might be more fragile than it seems. They hate that you do not need their approval or support to feel whole. Your self-sufficiency shatters their illusion that strength depends on numbers or popularity. You are living proof that true power grows from knowing and trusting yourself, not from the noise of a crowd. And for those who depend on group validation, that truth is harder to accept than any open rebellion. Number 12, you treat relationships as choices, not obligations. Most people feel tied to certain relationships because of family, history, or what society expects. They believe loyalty means sticking around no matter what. You might hear phrases like blood is thicker than water or family comes first. And for many, those words hold them prisoner in connections that drain rather than uplift. But you see things differently. You treat relationships as choices, not obligations. This means you decide who stays in your life based on respect, trust, and how they make you feel, not just because they share a last name or because you have known them for years. You understand that time alone does not create value in a relationship. What matters is what happens in the present, the give and take, the honesty, and the energy exchanged. For example, you might have a relative who always brings drama and negativity every time you meet. Instead of forcing yourself to keep that connection alive just because of family ties, you set boundaries or even distance yourself. It is not about burning bridges out of spite. It is about preserving your peace and choosing what nourishes you. Or think about a friendship where you are the only one making the effort, calling, checking in, or supporting. Over time, you realize that relationship has become one-sided. Instead of clinging to it because of history, you quietly step back, allowing space for mutual respect or new connections that better fit your current life. This approach can confuse or upset people who expect loyalty to be automatic. But for you, it is a matter of survival and self-respect. You are not heartless. You simply refuse to be tied down by outdated ideas about what relationships should look like. By choosing relationships carefully, you create a circle that is real, supportive, and uplifting. You show that true connection comes from choice, not obligation, and that sometimes the hardest decision is the one that frees you the most. Have you ever wondered why some people just can't seem to like you no matter what? It is not always about what you do or say. Sometimes it is about what you represent. The kind of strength and independence that makes others uncomfortable because it challenges their own limits. Being a Sigma female means you live on your own terms, quietly powerful and fiercely true to yourself. That kind of presence is rare, and with rarity often comes resistance. Remember, their secret dislike does not define you. It is a reflection of their struggle to accept someone who refuses to be boxed in or controlled. Every time you choose your peace over pleasing others, every time you stay calm while chaos swirls around, and every time you move forward without needing permission, you remind them of a freedom they secretly crave but fear. So, keep owning your journey without apology. Your strength is not meant to fit everyone's comfort zone. It is meant to break molds and open new paths. Not just for yourself, but for anyone watching quietly from the sidelines, waiting for permission to be just as real. If being misunderstood or disliked comes with being unshakable, then wear it like armor. The very reasons some secretly hate you are the reasons you were made to stand apart. Keep rising, keep evolving, keep being unapologetically you. Because at the end of the day, the only approval you truly need is your own. Stay true to yourself. To all the spicy ladies make life beautiful, thank you for watching, and God bless.